Have you ever zoomed into Google Earth and stumbled across something so bizarre it just didn't to make sense? From strange markings in the desert to haunting faces carved by nature itself, the world looks very different when seen from space. Today, we're diving into 10 mysterious places on Google Earth that remain unexplained. Stick around until the end, because the last one might leave you questioning what's really going on out there. And hey, if you enjoy exploring the unknown with us, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. The face in Antarctica, Google Earth's most chilling mystery. Far away from civilization, where icy winds cut across endless white landscapes, lies one of the coldest, harshest places on Earth, Antarctica. A continent so remote that most of us will never step foot there. Yet thanks to satellite technology, we can explore it from above, and sometimes what we find defies explanation. One of the strangest discoveries ever spotted on Google Earth is something researchers and conspiracy theorists alike call the face in Antarctica. At first glance, it looks almost too unbelievable to be true. A massive human-like face carved directly into the side of a mountain. When you zoom in on the coordinates, what emerges is haunting. The image shows a formation that appears to have all the features of a human head. You can clearly make out the outline of a forehead, a nose, lips, and even the suggestion of a closed eye. The natural shadows created by the icy ridges only enhance the effect, making it look eerily lifelike, like a giant statue watching over the frozen desert. Now here's where things get even stranger. This formation isn't small. From top to bottom, the face stretches nearly 1 kilometer in length, that S more than half a mile long, and about 500 meters wide. To put that in perspective, imagine a carving the size of 10 football fields stacked end to end. This is not something you would miss. So, what could it be? Skeptics argue that it's nothing more than a coincidence, just rocks, ice, and shadows lining up in a way that tricks the human brain. Scientists even have a name for this: pareidolia, the psychological tendency to see faces or familiar shapes where none actually exist. It's the same reason we see shapes in clouds, or the man on the moon, but not everyone is convinced. Some believe this formation is too detailed, too deliberate, to simply be the work of nature. Alternative theories suggest it could be the remains of an ancient civilization hidden beneath Antarctica's ice. Others think it might be some kind of marker or symbol, something intentionally designed but long forgotten. And then there are the darker interpretations. A few conspiracy circles claim this face represents something supernatural, perhaps even a mythical being hidden in the frozen south. Some go as far as connecting it to prophecies about Antarctica being a place where secrets of the past are buried. What makes the mystery even more compelling is the fact that this face isn't a recent discovery. Archived satellite images from as far back as 2009 show the exact same formation, which means it has been there for decades, possibly centuries. Yet because the location is so incredibly remote, no scientific team has ever physically investigated it. As of today, not a single human has stood at the site to confirm whether it truly looks like a face from the ground. So we're left with questions. Is this simply a natural wonder, a lucky alignment of shadows and ice? Or could it be evidence of something we're not supposed to see? Until someone makes the perilous journey to that icy corner of the world, the face in Antarctica will remain one of Google Earth's most chilling and unexplained mysteries. The sunken plain of the Bahamas, a crash, frozen in time. Our next mystery takes us from the icy wilderness of Antarctica to the warm tropical waters of the Bahamas. Known for its crystal-clear beaches and stunning islands, the Bahamas is often called paradise on Earth. But beneath those turquoise waves lies a chilling reminder that even paradise can hold its secrets. The location is Bullock Harbor, a quiet stretch of coast that has recently drawn the attention of Google Earth explorers. When you zoom in over the shallow waters, you can clearly make out the outline of a small airplane resting silently on the ocean floor. At first, it almost looks staged, like a movie prop placed for divers to find. But this wreck is very real. The story takes us back to July 10, 1997. The aircraft was a Cessna 402C, a twin-engine passenger plane commonly used for short flights around the Caribbean. That day, the plane was just minutes away from its destination runway when tragedy struck. The pilot reported a sudden and catastrophic brake failure only 2 kilometers from landing. Faced with an impossible choice, try to land without brakes and risk a fiery crash on the runway, or attempt a desperate water landing, the pilot made a decision that would save every life on board. With incredible skill, he brought the plane down into the sea. The impact was terrifying, but miraculously, all 7 passengers and the pilot survived. In most cases, a crash like this would have ended very differently. Experts believe the shallow water and the quick thinking of the pilot made all the difference. After the rescue, the wreck was left where it sank. For years, it remained invisible, hidden under the shifting tides and waters of Bullock Harbor. Locals knew about the accident, but to the outside world, it became just another forgotten story of aviation. That changed in 2019, when water levels in the area dropped just enough to expose the outline of the wreck to satellites. Suddenly, Google Earth users around the world could see the haunting shadow of the Cessna lying just beneath the waves. Even through a computer screen, the sight is unsettling, the remains of a near tragedy preserved under the sea for over 2 decades. Today, the wreck has become something of a quiet landmark. Divers occasionally visit it, drawn by both curiosity and history. Some say the eerie sight of the broken plane resting on the seabed serves as a reminder of how fragile life can be. Others look at it as a symbol of survival, proof that even in disaster, miracles can happen. Still, questions linger. Why was the wreck never recovered? Could the salt water eventually erase all traces of it? Or will it remain a permanent ghost of the Bahamas, visible only to those who know where to look? For now, the sunken plane of Bullock Harbor remains suspended in time, a silent witness to a day in 1997 when disaster struck, but fate gave everyone a second chance. The mysterious figure in France, a backyard that shocked the internet. Our next strange discovery doesn't come from a remote desert or the depths of the ocean. Instead, it's hidden in plain sight, right in the middle of a European neighborhood. The location, Nancy, France. A charming city known for its culture, art, and architecture. But thanks to Google Street View, one ordinary home in Nancy has become the center of an extraordinary mystery. At first glance, the house looks completely normal. It's a simple 2-story building, painted in light colors, with a small backyard and even a swimming pool behind it. Nothing unusual there. But when curious users zoomed in on the property's backyard gallery, they noticed something so strange that the images quickly went viral. Captured standing near the back of the house was a figure, human in shape, tall and rigid, almost like it was posing for the camera. At first, it looks like a person, frozen mid-movement. But when you look closer, the details don't quite make sense. Its posture seems unnatural, its body oddly stiff. It doesn't appear alive, yet it doesn't look like any statue anyone has ever seen before either. That's when the theories began. Some insisted this was a supernatural entity, accidentally caught on Google Street View, a ghost, a spirit, or something darker. Others argued it had to be a statue, perhaps a piece of abstract art left in the garden by the homeowner. But here's the problem. Researchers and internet detectives combed through databases of public artworks and statues across Europe, and no known sculpture matches what appears in these images. If it was simply a statue, why does it seem so unique? Why has no one been able to identify it or find another example anywhere else in the world? And if it was just a random decorative figure, why was it later blurred out and removed from Street View altogether? Google doesn't typically censor harmless garden ornaments. This only fueled more speculation. Some suggested Google blurred it because the figure wasn't a statue at all. It was something they didn't want the public to see. Was it a prank by the homeowners? A one-of-a-kind art installation? Or something that goes beyond rational explanation? The most unsettling part is this. Unlike most mysteries, where further investigation eventually solves the puzzle, this one remains completely unexplained. To this day, no one has stepped forward to confirm what the figure really was. No artist has claimed it as their work. No homeowner has spoken up to say it was just a decoration. It has simply remained silent, both in reality and online. So we're left with questions. Was this an innocent piece of modern art mistaken for something eerie? Or did Google's cameras accidentally capture something we were never supposed to see? Whatever the truth may be, the mysterious figure of Nancy, France remains one of Google Earth's strangest and most unsettling discoveries, a quiet backyard that turned into a worldwide enigma. The giant pentagram of Kazakhstan, a star. That sparked fear from the bustling streets of France, we now travel deep into the vast wilderness of Kazakhstan, a country known for its endless steppes, rugged mountains, and remote lakes. But hidden along the shoreline of one of these lakes is a sight so strange that it has fueled countless conspiracy theories. When viewed from above on Google Earth, the landscape reveals a massive pentagram, a five-pointed star, etched directly into the earth. And this isn't some small marking. The star measures nearly 1,200 feet across, large enough to be seen clearly from space. For many people, the pentagram immediately sparked a sense of unease. After all, the five-pointed star has long been associated with the occult, witchcraft, and even satanic rituals in popular culture. The image of such a massive symbol hidden in a remote part of Kazakhstan sent online communities into overdrive. Was this proof of dark ceremonies taking place in the middle of nowhere? Conspiracy forums were quick to spin their stories. Some claimed the star was a meeting place for secret societies. Others said it was evidence of satanic worship in the region, hidden away from the eyes of the world until satellites accidentally exposed it. The fact that it appeared so precise, its lines sharp, its shape flawless, only added to the mystery. But archaeologists and historians have offered a more grounded explanation. According to experts, the pentagram likely dates back to the Soviet era, before Kazakhstan gained independence in 1991. The star was one of the most important symbols of the Soviet Union, prominently displayed on its flag and military insignia. It represented communism, unity, and the Red Army's might. Researchers suggest that the site may have originally been planned as a public park or recreational area. The star's shape could have been part of a larger landscape design, with pathways and roads forming its outline. Satellite archives show traces of old roadways and earthworks that match the star's lines, reinforcing the theory that it was a Soviet construction project that was simply never completed or later abandoned. Today, however, the site looks desolate. The lake remains, but the land around it is empty, forgotten, and overgrown. From the ground, the pentagram isn't even obvious. You'd probably walk right past it without noticing anything unusual. But from the sky, it still looms large, a perfect star cut into the earth, frozen in time. So, what do we make of it? Was it really just a Soviet-era design left to decay, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? The lack of clear documentation leaves plenty of room for speculation, and as long as the giant star continues to stand visible from above, people will continue to wonder about its purpose. One thing is certain: the giant pentagram of Kazakhstan is both fascinating and unsettling, a reminder of how symbols can change meaning depending on who is looking at them, and how a piece of forgotten history can take on a life of its own in the digital age. The lips of the Sudanese desert. Nature's illusion or something more. From Kazakhstan's chilling pentagram, we now journey south to the heart of Africa, where the land tells a very different story. Welcome to Sudan, a country defined by its vast deserts, endless dunes, and landscapes shaped by thousands of years of wind and sand. But hidden among this barren beauty is one of the strangest natural formations ever spotted on Google Earth. Something that looks so human, so familiar, that it almost feels impossible. When satellite images of Sudan's desert were first released, explorers online noticed a formation that resembled nothing less than a pair of giant human lips. Yes, lips, complete with the curve of the upper lip and the fuller shape of the lower lip. From above, the illusion is so precise that it's hard to believe it's not man-made. It looks as if a colossal face is buried beneath the sand, with only its mouth left uncovered. The formation itself is massive. Rising nearly 250 feet high, it stretches across the desert in such a way that the contours appear perfectly symmetrical. The lips are made of layered sandstone, shaped and smoothed over thousands of years by wind erosion. The combination of rock, soil, and shifting sands created subtle differences in color that enhance the illusion even further. Dark ridges forming outlines, and lighter tones filling the shapes in between. Geologists are quick to explain that this is a natural occurrence, a coincidence of geology and perspective. Our brains are wired to recognize human features, a psychological phenomenon known as pareidolia. Just as we see animals in clouds or faces in tree bark, we're predisposed to spot patterns that remind us of ourselves. And yet, the lips in Sudan are almost too perfect, so detailed that many refuse to believe it, as only a trick of nature. Of course, that hasn't stopped speculation. Some online communities have suggested this could be evidence of an ancient civilization, perhaps one that carved symbolic figures into the desert. After all, Sudan is home to hundreds of pyramids and forgotten kingdoms, remnants of the Kushite Empire that once rivaled Egypt. Could this formation be another artifact of that past, eroded beyond recognition but still carrying a faint imprint of its original design? Others take the mystery in a more mythical direction. The lips, they argue, might symbolize a gateway, an entrance to something hidden beneath the desert sands. Tales of lost cities and buried treasures in the Sahara have circulated for centuries, and the idea of a natural landmark doubling as a marker has fueled countless theories. Yet for all the speculation, no scientific expedition has studied the lips in detail. The region is remote, harsh, and difficult to reach. For now, we only have the satellite images to go on, and from above, the illusion is undeniable. So, are the lips of the Sudanese desert just another case of pareidolia, or are they a clue left behind by history? Until someone ventures out to see them up close, this giant mouth in the sand will remain one of the world's most mysterious natural illusions. The floating forest of Australia, nature's ship of secrets. From the burning deserts of Sudan, our next mystery takes us to the coast of Australia, just outside the bustling city of Sydney. Here, in the quiet waters of Homebush Bay, lies a sight so surreal that it looks like something straight out of a fantasy novel, a shipwreck that has transformed into a floating forest. This is the story of the SS Airfield, a once proud vessel that has lived many lives. Built in 1911, the airfield was originally a cargo freighter, carrying supplies and fuel across the seas. During World War II, it was even enlisted by the Allies, tasked with transporting supplies to American troops stationed in the Pacific. For decades, it served faithfully, a workhorse of the ocean. But by 1972, its days of service were over. Decommissioned and stripped of value, the airfield was sent to Homebush Bay, an area that had become a kind of graveyard for old, unwanted ships. Many vessels ended up here, left to rust and sink into obscurity. Most were forgotten, swallowed slowly by the tides, but the airfield had a different destiny. Over time, something remarkable happened. The rusting hulk of the ship became fertile ground for mangrove trees. These hardy plants took root in the decaying structure, their roots finding purchase in the cracks and crevices of corroded steel. Slowly but surely, the ship transformed. What was once an abandoned wreck became a living island, a dense, thriving forest rising from the deck of a forgotten freighter. Today, the SS Airfield is known as the Floating Forest, one of the strangest and most hauntingly beautiful sights in Australia. From above, It looks like a patch of emerald green drifting on the water. Up close, it's even more surreal. Twisted branches sprouting from rusted beams, leaves spilling out over the ship's sides as though nature has fully claimed it. Photographers and tourists flock to Homebush Bay to witness this strange fusion of the natural and the man-made. The site has become iconic, a reminder of how the Earth reclaims what humans leave behind. Some see it as a symbol of resilience, proof that life can flourish in the most unlikely of places. Others find it eerie, almost ghostly, like the ship itself is alive, sailing silently into eternity with a forest for a crown. But the airfield also carries whispers of its past. Locals often wonder what stories remain hidden in its rusted hull. Did sailors aboard the ship during World War II ever imagine their vessel would end its days as a floating jungle? Was this transformation just an accident of nature, or was it always meant to become a living monument to history? Whatever the case, the floating forest of Australia stands as one of the most enchanting mysteries ever captured on Google Earth. A shipwreck turned sanctuary, where steel and trees have merged into something truly otherworldly. The silent people of Finland, a field of frozen souls. Leaving behind the warm waters of Australia, we now journey north, into the cold and quiet landscapes of Finland. Here, on the side of a lonely road near the small village of Suomussalmi, there is a field that has become both famous and unsettling. From above, it looks like a massive crowd, hundreds of human figures, all gathered together in eerie silence, as if frozen in time. When satellite images first revealed this scene, online explorers were baffled. Who were these people? Why were they standing so still in the middle of nowhere? Was this some forgotten ritual, a protest, or something darker? The truth, as it turns out, is both strange and fascinating. The figures aren't real people at all. They are scarecrows, hundreds of them, carefully arranged as part of an art installation known as the Silent People. The artwork was created in 1994 by Finnish artist Reijo Kela, who wanted to challenge people's perceptions of crowds, identity, and the passage of time. Each figure is built with a wooden frame, topped with a simple head, and then dressed in real clothing. From a distance, they look uncannily human, their postures stiff but lifelike. But what makes the Silent People so unusual is the care put into maintaining them. Locals regularly change the clothes on the figures, washing and replacing garments as needed. Over the years, the field has turned into a living canvas, always shifting and evolving. Summer brings bright dresses and light shirts, while in winter the figures are bundled up in heavy coats and scarves. For drivers passing along the nearby highway, the sight can be startling. Imagine turning a corner and suddenly seeing a crowd of 800 motionless figures staring out across the field. Many travelers have reported slowing down, some even stopping to make sure they weren't seeing a gathering of real people. Of course, the installation has sparked plenty of theories and stories. Some claim the scarecrows represent the spirits of the dead, a silent army guarding the Finnish wilderness. Others see them as a statement about society, how people can blend into the crowd, losing their individuality. And then there are those who simply find them haunting, as if they might come alive once night falls. Despite their eerie appearance, the Silent People have become a beloved landmark. Locals take pride in dressing them, tourists travel miles to photograph them, and the installation has become part of Finland's cultural identity. It is both unsettling and strangely comforting, a reminder that even silence can speak volumes. So whether you see them as art, spirits, or just a field of scarecrows, one thing is certain. The Silent People of Finland are unlike anything else on Earth. A frozen crowd that waits patiently in the wilderness, watching, and leaving us to wonder what they might be silently saying. The looted ruins of Syria. History. Stolen from the Earth. From the quiet fields of Finland, our journey now takes us to the war-torn landscapes of the Middle East. In the northwestern deserts of Syria lies the ancient city of Ebla, a once thriving capital of a Bronze Age kingdom and one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. For thousands of years, Its ruins preserve the memory of a civilization that shaped trade, culture, and diplomacy across the ancient Near East. But in the past decade, this priceless heritage has faced a tragedy unlike any other. Thanks to Google Earth, the world was given a front-row seat to the destruction. In 2011, satellite images revealed the ancient site as it had stood for centuries, an expanse of ruins layered with the remnants of palaces, temples, and archives. Ebla was already famous for its discovery in the 1970s, when archaeologists unearthed more than 20,000 clay tablets inscribed with one of the earliest known written languages. These discoveries transformed our understanding of ancient history. Yet by 2012, when new satellite images were released, the scene had changed dramatically. The ruins were no longer intact. Instead, the ground was riddled with thousands of dark pits, evidence of systematic looting. Treasure hunters and black market smugglers had descended upon the site, digging wildly in search of ancient artifacts to sell. From above, it looked like Ebla had been struck by an epidemic of craters, its once proud ruins scarred beyond recognition. Historians and archaeologists watching these images unfold could only describe it as cultural genocide. Priceless relics, statues, tablets, jewelry, tools were stolen and funneled into the black market, many ending up in the hands of private collectors around the world. Others disappeared forever. The tragedy of Ebla is more than just the loss of artifacts. Each stolen item carried with it a story, a piece of the human journey, stripped from its context and erased from history. Once removed from the site, these objects can never again tell us who made them, what they were used for, or what they meant to the people who lived there. The looting of Ebla is not unique. It mirrors what has happened at countless other sites across Syria and Iraq during years of conflict. But Ebla's destruction is among the most visible, documented in real time by satellite technology. Google Earth, meant to connect people to the wonders of the world, instead revealed the heartbreaking reality of how fragile those wonders truly are. Today, the ruins remain scarred, a silent reminder of what was lost. Some of the stolen treasures may still be out there, hidden in vaults or displayed in secret collections. Others may never surface again. The looted ruins of Syria stand as a cautionary tale. Civilization is not only built on stone and clay, it survives in our will to protect it. And when history is stolen, the loss is not just Syria's, but humanity's as a whole. The circles in the Russian Sea, mystery beneath the waves. From the deserts of Syria, our search for Earth's strangest secrets now carries us north, into the icy waters of the Barents Sea, just off the rugged coast of northern Russia. Here, satellite explorers stumbled upon something unusual, vast geometric shapes floating on the dark, cold waves. From above, they looked like perfect circles, evenly spaced across the sea, their size and symmetry too precise to be natural. At first glance, the discovery sparked a wave of wild theories online. Some believed these were the remains of secret military experiments hidden away in one of the most heavily guarded regions of Russia. Others speculated about missile platforms or even unidentified objects of extraterrestrial origin. After all, when viewed from high above, the circles seemed almost otherworldly, their placement too deliberate to ignore. But as investigators dug deeper, the mystery began to unravel into something far more ordinary, yet no less fascinating. These strange floating shapes weren't weapons or alien crafts at all. They were fish farms. The circles are in fact aquaculture pens, floating enclosures designed to raise fish in controlled environments. Each ring contains thousands of fish, carefully monitored for growth and health. While the sight may seem eerie from above, to locals in the fishing industry, it's a normal part of life. The Barents Sea is cold, nutrient-rich, and perfect for species like salmon, which thrive in these vast underwater cages. Yet, even knowing the truth, there is something captivating about the images. The stark contrast between the wild expanse of the Arctic Ocean and the neat human-made geometry of the farms creates a surreal picture, almost like symbols etched into the water itself. And Russia isn't alone. Google Earth has revealed similar ocean patterns across the globe. Off the coast of New Zealand, for example, long parallel lines appear beneath the waves. These, too, sparked initial confusion until researchers confirmed they were mussel farms. Instead of floating circles, the farms use rows of suspended ropes where shellfish grow, feeding on the natural nutrients in the water until they're ready to harvest. What's fascinating is how these farms blur the line between mystery and reality. From above, they appear strange, even alien, to the untrained eye. But on the surface, they represent one of humanity's oldest pursuits, the quest for food. Fish farming has become an essential part of feeding the world, providing a sustainable alternative to overfishing. Still, the eeriness remains. To the casual observer scrolling through Google Earth, the circles of the Russian Sea look like something unexplained, almost haunting, symbols of the unknown floating in frigid waters. And perhaps that's part of the magic. Sometimes the strangest mysteries are simply glimpses of ordinary life, magnified by perspective and distance. So while the circles may not belong to secret weapons or alien civilizations, they remain a curious reminder of how human activity leaves its mark, even in the most remote corners of the ocean. The strange squares of Algeria, desert secrets carved in sand. Our final stop takes us deep into the heart of the Sahara Desert, in the remote stretches of Algeria. Here, where endless dunes stretch to the horizon and almost no signs of life can be found, Google Earth has revealed one of its most puzzling discoveries: a grid of massive squares etched into the desert floor, each measuring an astonishing 250 meters across. From a distance, they appear as ghostly scars, vast geometric patterns standing out against the barren sand. But zoom in closer, and the mystery grows even stranger. Within many of these squares are circular excavation marks, as though heavy machinery had dug carefully orchestrated patterns into the earth. The precision is unmistakable. These aren't natural formations, they're deliberate. The strange part? These markings have been visible since as early as 1985, yet they haven't stopped appearing. Even as recently as 2020, new squares and patterns were recorded by satellites, showing that whatever process created them is ongoing. So, what are they? Theories abound. Some suggest they are connected to oil and gas exploration. Algeria is one of Africa's largest energy producers, and the Sahara is rich in underground resources. The squares could represent survey grids, areas where seismic testing and drilling were carried out to locate valuable reserves. The circular patterns might be remnants of blasting operations, where charges were detonated to send sound waves through the rock below, mapping what lies hidden beneath the sand. But here's the mystery. Despite decades of speculation, no official explanation has ever been given. For a project of such scale, covering miles of desert, you'd expect some documentation or acknowledgement, yet nothing concrete has surfaced. This lack of answers has fueled more unusual theories. Some argue the markings could be part of secret military experiments, testing weapons or underground facilities away from prying eyes. Others suggest they might even be remnants of experimental desert agriculture or geoengineering projects that were abandoned before reaching completion. And then, of course, there are those who see the markings as something far stranger, symbols left by an ancient or extraterrestrial presence. After all, from above, the patterns look almost ceremonial, like giant inscriptions written into the sand for no human to see except from the sky. Regardless of their origin, the strange squares of Algeria remain one of Google Earth's most enduring enigmas. Unlike fish farms or shipwrecks, where the answers eventually surface, this mystery deepens with time. The fact that new markings continue to appear only adds to the intrigue. Are these squares simply a byproduct of industry, quietly carving up the desert in search of fuel? Or are they something more, a hidden project, still unfolding in one of the most remote regions on Earth? For now, the Sahara keeps its secret. The strange squares stand silent in the sand, visible to satellites but offering no explanation, leaving us to wonder, what exactly is happening beneath the endless Algerian sky? So, what do you think? Are these just coincidences of nature, remnants of forgotten history, or signs of something we still don't fully understand? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories. And if you enjoyed exploring these mysteries with us, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next deep dive into the world's strangest secrets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.